something slightly different than I originally intended to make. As I mentioned, last week was a hectic week full of technical difficulties and nightmares. And in the whole sorry mess that ensued, my Microsoft Word decided to act up. So everything that I have saved on my Microsoft Word, I cannot for the moment access. This problem I've had before. It was usually easily solved. I just signed into my OneDrive and it solved the issue, but this time is not so simple. This time it's decided to be very, very annoying. So all my notes that I had on the ramble I was gonna do about the 1930 World Cup, I cannot access. So I think if I can't get access to my Microsoft Word anytime soon, then I will have to just redo them. But just because I can't do that, it doesn't mean that I would leave the content that I need for here empty. So we are gonna replace it with this ramble instead, and hopefully that's okay. Summer's been pretty weird so far. It's been one of those weird summers in regards to the weather. 1 minute it seems like the sun is gonna kick in, the next minute the clouds come out in full force, and it's even quite chilly. The wind howls and blows. One day last week I went into a back room to close the windows, and I really had to fight against the wind blowing through the windows to open the door. And once I got inside, it was so icy cold. It was quite nice, and the wind was blowing. It was quite nice. And there's warnings of thunderstorms. Whether there will be one, however, is another matter, but there we go. I remember the start of the year, January. They spent 2 months warning of severe storms, threat to life storms. And then there was just a little bit of wind, just a little bit of wind, just a little bit of wind, just a little bit of wind. I'm recording this at 2:30 in the afternoon. I know, it's crazy. Recently I haven't been able to record anything past 11 o'clock. You know, in summer when the light stretches longer, children tend to stay out longer playing, and people have more time to go out and about more safely with the sun out instead of pitch black. can't really be too angry that people live their lives. But sometimes when I'm in a push for a schedule and I don't have much time, I do tend to get a little bit ate up by the whole thing. I know I shouldn't because it's unavoidable and it's life. But I was really disappointed about my notes, being unable to access them, because I was looking forward to doing that video this weekend, but I will just have to wait a little bit longer. I have, however, gotten underway quite fully in my series that I spoke about. I haven't bought the props yet, and that I am a little bit nervous about, because one of the props is a proper dip pen and ink, and I am not exactly professional or even competent at doing that, and I am a little bit anxious about that. But I guess it doesn't really matter because no one will see the writing, they'll only hear it. I know it's become a thing. A lot more people have spoken about it on this channel in comments about making things more visual, if only they were visual. Sometimes we do visuals if there's a reason to. Like, let's explore. We put the maps in the streets and the information, everything, we put it on the screen, and that's the visual because there's a purpose for it. Otherwise, I don't see the need in having visual effects, because that's not what this channel is about. That's not what this channel was ever supposed to be about. It was supposed to be a experiment, a experiment that I didn't know was gonna work. Like, if you rob the viewer of the visual, would the sound be more intense? Would it make it more tingly, more ASMR, more relaxing? And if you put on a radio show, you don't necessarily see what's happening, you only hear it. Right now there's some birds outside singing, and hopefully you can't hear them because I do tend to find the sound of birds singing not a very relaxing thing. Usually in day to day you kind of tone them out. It's something that becomes part of the background. It's nothing that you get ate up about. You don't get irate. But then if there's an ASMR with the sound of bird chatter, birds gossiping and chirping and chiming in the background, I tend to get a little bit annoyed by them. I don't know why. So hopefully it isn't too annoying, but it's not something I can do anything about. I can't exactly evict the birds from wherever they are congregating and gossiping. I don't think they would take too kindly to it. I've spoken a few times, or mentioned in passing, this ASMR channel that I discovered last November. He does exclusively ramble videos. Just presses record and chats away. He got very obsessive about issues and was suddenly making 5 or 6 videos a day about LGBTQ people, trans people. It got intense. Well, about a month ago, maybe a little bit more, he declared that his videos of LGBTQ and trans people was ending because they just didn't bring in the views anymore. And then Pride Month starts and he's back to using those labels for views again. I did unsub from him a little while ago. I don't mind hearing different opinions to myself, but when you're an ASMR channel and you're, seeking to create discord and division between people doesn't seem to be the purpose of an ASMR channel to me. But then again, we all have our understandings and beliefs of what ASMR should be and what it can be, and I suppose someone can have a different opinion to myself. But for me, it got too much, too obsessive. And then when he openly said that he only used it for views and engagement and money, ultimately, it left a bad taste in my mouth. Suddenly I wasn't able to take the opposite opinion because the only reason you were making the videos was to make money of them. And then Pride starts, and what do more people talk about in Pride? What's something that's on everybody's lips? Or at least social media companies like YouTube. Pride. And although I unsubscribed, his videos do often pop up on my timeline. I guess my timeline hasn't learned yet that we're not interested in that content anymore. And it's a shame because I did enjoy his rambles. Alright, I don't think we've been going for very long, but I've already run out of things to talk about. My head has been full of chaos these last couple of days. I'm not exactly a qualified, competent person in regards to computers, so I have to spend a lot of time Googling and going through message boards and trying things out that don't always work, and getting a little bit flustered, a little bit up, because it's not just uploading videos that I wasn't able to do. I wasn't able to do any work. And that was a concern, especially when I have a deadline coming up. I had to move my editing software from my main computer to another one which I use to draw and such. Luckily it works very well there for now. But every time I try to reinstall it back on my main computer, it just wouldn't stick. I installed it, I would install something else, and then it would just go. And then after that, when I tried to install it, it wouldn't let me choose where to put the download once it was complete. I would put it on an external hard drive, as my space on my main computer is a little bit full. I do need an upgrade, so that is a priority that I need to take care of. But I do find computers and all that technical gives me a little bit of a headache. But anyway, I'm getting back on track. It didn't help that every video, as sparse as my uploads were last week, completely tanked. Completely. But that's just the way sometimes. Like I've said, I can have really mediocre views and all of a sudden I'll make a video and it will make over 1,000 views and I'll get something like 60 subscribers after weeks and weeks of hardly any growth in subscriber count at all. The algorithm is strange and so is YouTube. I don't really know what's happening. I just go with the flow. I have started to play The Sims again a little bit. I hoped I had a good idea. This isn't firmly set in stone yet. I guess it depends if I still like the idea. But at some point in the near future, to do like a show or tell of my Sims. Instead of a play with me, we can just kind of show, talk a little about the characters, things that have happened, little stories. I think it could be fun. But again, it's not set in stone. Sometimes you have ideas that you write down because you think this is a really great idea, and for some reason it just doesn't happen. Whether it's because you just don't like the idea anymore, or it's just not important and you like other ideas a little bit, just a little bit better. It all depends. Okay, I'm gonna cut this one a little bit short today. But there will be more, and I'm gonna go now, and later I will edit this video and I will upload it, and hopefully you will like it. I hope so. So I will say until next time. See ya.